Your brain is changing even now, every thought, habit, and experience reshaping it in real time. You've just clicked on the video that explains exactly how that works. Yes, you're in the right place. What if the way you think, feel, and even heal could be redesigned, not by machines, but by your own mind? Discover how your brain rewires itself with every action, why some habits stick while others fade, and what it means for learning, recovery after brain injury like stroke, and personal growth. Find out how this silent process might already be shaping your life. Can the brain really change itself? It sounds like science fiction, but it's a proven fact of science. Your brain isn't fixed or unchanging. It adapts, reshapes, and even rewires itself based on what you do, think, and experience. This ability is called neuroplasticity, and it's one of the most exciting discoveries in neuroscience. Every time you learn something new, practice a skill, or even recall a memory, your brain is actively transforming. What if habits could actually change the shape of your brain? That's exactly what happens. Neuroplasticity means that neurons, the brain's cells, can form new connections, strengthen old ones, or prune away those that are no longer used. This is how we learn languages, master instruments, and recover from injuries. It's the brain's natural way of staying flexible and responsive. Could simple experiences like stress, sleep, or movement really affect brain structure? Yes, they can. Your brain doesn't just react to your environment, it transforms through it. Everything from your emotions to your exercise routine helps mold your mind. Neuroplasticity allows children to grow and adults to adapt. It's why therapy works, how skills are built, and even why aging brains can stay sharp with the right habits. The brain is never truly at rest. It's constantly adapting, reorganizing, and reshaping itself based on what you do, think, and experience. This ability, known as neuroplasticity, allows the brain to change its structure and function throughout life. Every new memory, skill, or habit modifies the connections between neurons. Frequently used neural pathways become stronger and faster, while those that are rarely used weaken or disappear. This rewiring supports learning, habit formation, and even emotional growth. Neuroplasticity also plays a critical role in healing. When part of the brain is damaged due to stroke, injury, or sensory loss, other regions can take over lost functions, helping people regain speech, movement, or perception. Far from being fixed, the brain is a living, flexible system with a built-in repair kit. Understanding neuroplasticity reveals that we're not limited by past experiences or age. Instead, we can actively shape our minds to grow, adapt, and recover throughout our lives. Neuroplasticity doesn't operate in just one way. It works through two major forms that together explain how the brain adapts and heals. Structural plasticity is all about physical changes in the brain's wiring. New experiences, skills, and habits cause neurons to grow new branches and form stronger links. This reshaping of the brain's layout improves learning and memory. Functional plasticity, on the other hand, deals with the brain's ability to shift functions from one region to another. If an area becomes damaged, nearby or opposite regions can take over those duties. This kind of adaptability is especially important after injuries like strokes, where retraining the brain allows recovery of speech or movement. Both types work together all the time, silently responding to your daily actions and challenges. Whether you're learning something new or recovering from an injury, your brain constantly updates itself using these two powerful forms of adaptation. Every time you learn something or remember a detail, your brain adjusts tiny connections between neurons called synapses. Synaptic plasticity is the brain's way of strengthening or weakening these connections based on how often they're used. When you repeat a skill or idea, the pathways involved become more efficient, making it easier to recall or perform next time. This strengthening process helps build long-term memory and improve learning speed. At the same time, connections that aren't used often are gradually reduced, helping the brain stay efficient and focused. This constant adjustment keeps your mind sharp and adaptable, allowing it to fine-tune itself to your environment and goals. Synaptic plasticity lies at the heart of memory formation, habit development, and even emotional responses. It's a silent sculptor inside your head, shaping your mind through use and disuse. Everything you think or do leaves behind a physical trace in these microscopic connections. Repeated patterns of thought or behavior change the structure of the brain over time. Hebbian learning explains this by showing how neurons that activate together strengthen their connection. When two neurons fire in response to the same event repeatedly, the link between them grows stronger, making future responses faster and more automatic. This mechanism is what turns practice into skill and thoughts into habits. Whether it's playing a musical note or reacting with fear or joy, the more often the brain repeats the activity, the more efficient the neural pathway becomes. This principle applies to everything from motor control to emotional regulation. The brain builds shortcuts by reinforcing frequently used connections, making responses more natural. At the same time, unused or rarely activated circuits are gradually lost. Hebbian learning reveals how experience shapes perception, movement, emotion, and behavior, not just temporarily, but as lasting structural changes in the brain's circuitry. Learning something new becomes permanent when specific neural pathways are strengthened through repetition. Long-term potentiation is a lasting increase in synaptic strength that forms when neurons repeatedly activate together. This enhanced connection makes future communication between those neurons faster and more reliable. It's the biological foundation of long-term memory and skill acquisition. In the hippocampus, where many memories are processed, LTP plays a major role in locking in information. The more often a neuron fires in response to a certain stimulus, the more sensitive and efficient that response becomes. This explains why repeated study or practice leads to mastery, and why memories tied to emotion or intensity tend to last. LTP is like building a neural superhighway for knowledge, streamlining access to thoughts, images, and procedures. It transforms the brain's physical structure in response to experience, helping turn short-term events into lasting understanding and habits that endure over time. Clearing away unnecessary information is just as important as strengthening what matters. Long-term depression is a process where synaptic connections weaken over time when they are not used. This helps the brain stay efficient, flexible, and ready to learn new things. LTD allows the nervous system to reduce or eliminate outdated or unused neural pathways, freeing up resources for more relevant ones. This pruning process is crucial for avoiding cognitive overload and refining performance. Without LTD, the brain would be overwhelmed by irrelevant data, slowing down thinking and reducing accuracy. LTD is the counterbalance to long-term potentiation. While one builds strong memories, the other clears space. It's especially important during early development and sleep, when the brain reorganizes and simplifies its networks. By reducing the strength of low-activity connections, LTD sharpens learning and supports mental clarity, proving that forgetting the right things is a smart and necessary function of the brain. Every person's brain is shaped by their unique experiences. Experience-dependent plasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to daily life, learning, challenges, and interactions. Unlike changes that occur automatically during development, these adaptations happen because of repeated exposure to specific tasks or environments. Learning to play an instrument, speaking multiple languages, or practicing problem-solving all create new patterns of brain activity. These experiences strengthen particular neural networks and can even lead to growth in specific brain regions. The brain changes depending on what you do, how often you do it, and how engaged you are. This type of plasticity doesn't stop at childhood, it continues across a lifetime. Whether you're picking up a new skill at 70 or adapting to a new culture at 20, your brain is constantly remodeling itself. The paths you take, the people you meet, and the challenges you face all leave a structural mark on your mind. During early life, the brain undergoes rapid and powerful changes as it builds the foundation for everything that follows. Developmental plasticity refers to the ability of a young brain to form and reorganize connections at a much faster rate than an adult brain. This phase of intense growth enables children to learn language, movement, emotion, and behavior with incredible speed. Sensory experiences and social interactions during this time play a critical role in shaping how the brain is wired. The quality and variety of stimulation children receive directly influence their cognitive, emotional, and physical development. This plasticity is both a great opportunity and a vulnerability. Positive experiences lead to strong, flexible brains, while negative environments can disrupt healthy development. Although plasticity decreases with age, the foundation laid during childhood often determines future potential. Early experiences matter deeply, not just for learning, but for shaping the brain's long-term architecture and adaptability. The brain has windows of time when it is especially responsive to certain kinds of learning. These windows, known as critical periods, are limited stages in early development when the brain's circuits are most open to forming new connections in response to specific types of input. Language, vision, and emotional bonding are examples of functions that rely heavily on this timing. If a child isn't exposed to language during the critical period for speech, learning it fluently later becomes much more difficult, if not impossible. Similarly, if the eyes are deprived of visual input during the visual system's critical phase, permanent vision impairment can result. These periods don't last forever, which is why early stimulation and positive environments are so important. Once they close, the same learning becomes much harder and slower. Understanding critical periods helps educators, parents, and healthcare providers nurture a child's full potential at the right moment. The brain strengthens the connections you use and weakens the ones you don't. Use-dependent plasticity describes how neural circuits are reshaped based on repetition. The more a neural pathway is activated, whether for a physical skill, thought process, or emotional reaction, the stronger and more efficient it becomes. If it's rarely used, the brain eventually trims it away. This selective reinforcement explains how habits form and why practice builds mastery. It also explains why unused skills fade and why consistent practice matters more than natural talent. The brain pays attention to what you do often and treats it as important, allocating more resources to support it. Whether you're learning to code, speak a new language, or stay calm in a stressful moment, regular use carves those patterns deeper. This form of plasticity is a powerful reminder that small, repeated actions have lasting effects. Your daily choices are shaping your brain for better or worse. Or, new brain cells can be born, even in adulthood, thanks to a process called neurogenesis. For a long time, it was believed that people were born with all the neurons they'd ever have. Now we know that new neurons can form in specific brain regions, especially the hippocampus, which is involved in memory and learning. Factors like physical exercise, enriched environments, learning, and even emotional well-being can promote this growth. Neurogenesis supports cognitive flexibility, mood regulation, and the ability to form new memories. While the process is slower and more limited than in childhood, it still plays a key role in maintaining a healthy brain across the lifespan. Stress and lack of stimulation can reduce it, while mental and physical activity boost it. This discovery has redefined how we view aging and brain health. The fact that new cells can grow shows that the brain remains dynamic, renewable, and open to change. After injury or sensory loss, the brain doesn't just give up. It reorganizes itself to keep functioning. Cortical remapping is the brain's ability to assign new roles to different regions when the original area is no longer available. If someone loses a limb, the brain area that used to process signals from that limb may start responding to signals from another part of the body. Stroke patients often recover speech or movement by activating new brain regions to take over lost functions. This flexibility is what makes rehabilitation possible. Through practice and therapy, new pathways form to compensate for what's lost. Cortical remapping doesn't always restore everything perfectly, but it shows the brain's remarkable problem-solving ability. It's not just about repair, it's about creative adaptation. Even without external tools, your brain finds a way to adjust. This built-in flexibility helps people recover, adapt to change, and regain independence after neurological challenges. When part of the brain is damaged by injury or stroke, recovery depends on the brain's ability to rewire and adapt. Neuroplasticity makes it possible for undamaged areas to take over lost functions. Through consistent therapy, like physical rehab, speech therapy, or cognitive training, the brain is encouraged to form new connections that bypass the damaged areas. These new pathways grow stronger with practice, eventually restoring skills like movement, language, or memory. The earlier and more intensive the rehabilitation, the better the brain's response tends to be. Age, health, and motivation also influence the outcome. While not all abilities are fully recoverable, many improvements happen because of this innate plasticity. Recovery isn't just about physical healing, it's about guiding the brain to rebuild itself. Every repetition reinforces a new route. Stroke survivors and patients with brain injuries often regain lost abilities because the brain never stops trying to adapt and find new solutions. When the brain loses access to one sense, it can repurpose other senses to fill the gap. This process, called sensory substitution, shows how flexible and inventive the brain can be. For example, blind individuals can use touch or sound to interpret visual information, allowing their brains to see through vibrations or echoes. Special devices can turn images into sound patterns or tactile signals, and over time, the brain learns to interpret these new inputs accurately. What's truly remarkable is that the brain areas originally used for vision start processing the substituted input. The visual cortex becomes active not through the eyes, but through sound or touch. This shows that the brain cares more about function than source. It wants useful information no matter how it arrives. Sensory substitution highlights the brain's adaptability in extraordinary circumstances. Even when faced with sensory loss, the nervous system can invent entirely new ways to perceive and understand the world. Skillful movement, whether playing an instrument or learning to walk again, relies on motor learning, a process in which the brain fine-tunes control over the body through repetition. Every movement sends signals through motor pathways in the brain and spinal cord. With each repetition, these pathways become stronger and more precise, allowing smoother, faster, and more accurate action. In rehabilitation, the same process helps restore lost motor functions after injury or illness. Physical therapy activates specific neural circuits repeatedly, encouraging the brain to reconnect with muscles and re-establish control. This form of plasticity requires time, patience, and consistent effort. Small improvements build on each other until movement becomes natural again. Even subtle shifts in balance or coordination reflect real neurological changes. Motor learning isn't just physical, it's deeply mental. The brain and body learn together. This capacity to rebuild movement proves that even after setbacks, the nervous system can evolve and adapt to new realities. The human brain develops complex language networks that grow and adapt through experience. From early childhood, it begins forming links between sounds, meanings, grammar, and memory. These connections evolve as new languages are learned or as speech skills improve with practice. Language acquisition uses a broad network of brain regions, including Broca's and Wernicke's areas, along with auditory and memory centers. When these areas are damaged, such as through stroke, the brain often rewires itself, moving language functions to new regions. This ability to reorganize explains how speech therapy helps people regain communication skills. Bilingual individuals show even greater plasticity, often developing stronger executive control and multitasking skills. Learning additional languages in adulthood stimulates memory and brain flexibility, improving cognition as a whole. Language doesn't reside in one fixed part of the brain. It's distributed, adaptable, and influenced by culture and environment. With effort and support, the brain can shape and reshape how we understand and express words. Thoughts and emotions don't just affect mood, they physically shape the brain's structure over time. Emotional experiences activate specific brain circuits, and when those patterns repeat, they become more ingrained. Chronic stress, for instance, strengthens neural pathways related to fear and anxiety, while weakening those linked to calm thinking. However, the reverse is also true. Practices like mindfulness, cognitive therapy, and supportive social interaction help rewire these circuits in healthier ways. Over time, the brain can learn to react with more balance, calm, and resilience. Emotional plasticity proves that healing is not just about feeling better. It's about the brain physically adjusting to new thought patterns and emotional habits. Recovery from trauma, growth after adversity, and emotional regulation are all supported by this ability. The circuits that shape our inner life are constantly updating. With awareness and repetition, even deep emotional responses can change, proving that mental health is dynamic and biologically adaptable. Just like physical exercise strengthens the body, mental workouts strengthen the brain. Cognitive training includes activities like puzzles, memory games, logic problems, and attention tasks. These challenges stimulate specific regions of the brain and help improve functions like focus, working memory, and mental flexibility. As you repeat these tasks, the neural networks involved grow stronger, faster, and more efficient. This doesn't mean you'll become a genius overnight, but regular cognitive training can enhance everyday thinking and slow cognitive decline. Learning a musical instrument, mastering a new language, or even playing chess can have lasting benefits for the brain. The effects are even stronger when tasks are varied, novel, and personally engaging. The brain thrives on challenge. It adapts to whatever you feed it. Over time, cognitive exercises can increase your mental sharpness, boost attention, and improve your ability to learn new information. Consistent mental stimulation keeps your brain agile and ready to grow. While the body rests during sleep, the brain becomes incredibly active, reorganizing and strengthening its neural connections. Sleep is essential for consolidating memories and refining what you learned while awake. During deep stages of sleep, the brain reinforces important pathways while pruning away the less used ones. This makes thinking more efficient and helps protect against overload. Dreams and rapid eye movement sleep also play roles in problem solving and emotional processing. Without enough quality sleep, the brain's ability to learn, remember, and adapt is severely compromised. Sleep deprivation weakens plasticity, slows reaction times, and impairs attention and decision-making. Meanwhile, consistent rest supports growth in areas tied to learning and creativity. Sleep is not passive downtime, it's a critical time when your brain files away lessons, resets emotions, and prepares for the next day. A well-rested brain is more flexible, focused, and capable of adapting to new challenges with clarity and resilience. Daily moments of stillness and focused breathing can change the structure of the brain. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools that activate areas linked to attention, emotional control, and awareness. With regular practice, these brain regions become denser and more connected. Meanwhile, areas associated with stress and fear responses shrink in volume and activity. Over time, mindfulness helps rewire your reactions, making it easier to stay calm, centered, and clear-headed in difficult situations. Meditation doesn't just reduce stress in the moment, it creates long-term changes that affect how your brain handles future stress. It also enhances concentration and improves emotional regulation. Brain scans show that even a few weeks of consistent mindfulness can result in measurable changes. These effects are rooted in neuroplasticity. The brain literally reshapes itself based on your inner focus. Mindfulness is a mental workout that strengthens the muscles of attention, helping you live with more intention and balance. The brain continues to adapt and grow throughout life, including in old age. Although plasticity may slow over time, it never truly stops. Older adults can still form new connections, sharpen memory, and enhance thinking by staying mentally and physically active. Activities like reading, playing music, learning new skills, and socializing engage multiple brain areas and help keep them responsive. The key is variety and consistent challenge. Research shows that continued learning and regular exercise can slow and even reverse aspects of cognitive decline. Aging doesn't end brain growth, it simply changes how it happens. With effort, growth continues. Mental health disorders involve real changes in how the brain is wired, not just temporary emotional states. Conditions like depression, anxiety, PTSD, and OCD reflect patterns in brain circuits that have become rigid or overactive. Thanks to neuroplasticity, these patterns can be reshaped. Through therapy, medication, mindfulness, and repeated positive behavior, the brain can build new, healthier networks. Cognitive behavioral therapy helps people change thought habits, slowly replacing harmful responses with constructive ones. Healing takes time because it involves rewiring the brain itself. With consistent effort and support, recovery becomes not just possible but expected through the brain's natural adaptability. Addiction reshapes the brain's reward system, reinforcing cravings through repeated dopamine surges tied to specific behaviors or substances. These patterns become dominant, making the brain rely on the addictive habit while losing sensitivity to natural rewards. Over time, the neural circuits involved grow stronger, forming a cycle that feels hard to break. However, the same neuroplasticity that builds addiction also enables recovery. With therapy, support, and consistent new habits, the brain can weaken these pathways and create healthier ones. Recovery isn't instant. It's a gradual rewiring process that proves addiction is not fixed but a changeable pattern within the brain. Diet and exercise play a vital role in shaping how the brain functions, heals, and adapts. Regular physical activity, especially aerobic movement, boosts blood flow and increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports neuron growth and connectivity. Exercise also enhances memory, learning, and clarity. At the same time, a healthy diet provides essential nutrients that protect and fuel the brain. Omega-3 fats help maintain neural structure, while antioxidants from fruits and vegetables fight inflammation. Poor nutrition and inactivity can weaken plasticity, while a balanced lifestyle strengthens it. Together, they actively build a sharper, more adaptable, and healthier brain. The brain's ability to adapt makes it possible for people to control prosthetic limbs, as if they were natural parts of the body. When using a robotic arm or leg, the brain gradually learns to send accurate signals for movement. With practice, these signals become smoother, allowing precise control. Some advanced prosthetics even return feedback, letting users sense texture or pressure. This remarkable interaction shows that the brain can adapt to entirely new tools, not just biological limbs. Neuroplasticity enables this connection, allowing artificial devices to feel like true extensions of the self, blending human intention with advanced technology. Brain science and artificial intelligence are becoming increasingly connected, each advancing the other. AI systems often mimic how the human brain learns, using neural networks that improve through repetition. Meanwhile, neuroscience applies AI to decode brain activity, guide rehabilitation, and enhance cognitive performance. As brain-computer interfaces improve, machines can interpret thoughts and provide real-time feedback, helping people regain or boost mental function. This interaction relies on neuroplasticity as the brain adapts to controlling new tools through intention alone. The merging of biology and technology highlights plasticity as a bridge, shaping both how we train machines and how machines help reshape us. Neuroplasticity offers remarkable potential, but it has its limits. The brain's ability to change is influenced by age, health, genetics, environment, and how often skills are practiced. Some regions are more adaptable than others, and certain types of brain damage may be too severe to fully recover from. With age, change still occurs but takes more time and effort. Deeply ingrained habits, especially negative ones, can be hard to reverse. Plasticity can also reinforce harmful patterns such as addiction or trauma responses. Understanding these boundaries helps set realistic goals. Neuroplasticity works best with patience, consistency, and the right support over time. Neuroplasticity challenges the idea of a fixed identity, suggesting that who we are is constantly shaped by experience, habits, and choice. As the brain rewires through learning, therapy, or even technology, personality becomes more adaptable than we once believed. Tools like brain stimulation or AI-based training open possibilities for self-improvement, but also raise ethical concerns around fairness, consent, and unintended consequences. These advances prompt deep questions about responsibility and the extent to which we should alter ourselves. Neuroplasticity doesn't just explain brain function, it redefines our understanding of self, urging us to reflect on how far change should go. Brain-computer interfaces allow direct communication between the brain and machines, translating thoughts into real-time actions. These systems read brain signals and convert them into commands to control devices like robotic limbs, cursors, or speech tools. With practice, the brain refines its control, adapting as if learning a new movement. This transformation relies on neuroplasticity as the brain reorganizes itself to master these tools. BCIs offer new independence to people with paralysis or neurological conditions and may soon enhance learning or creativity in healthy users. The brain's ability to connect with technology reveals its remarkable flexibility and expanding potential. Language and culture shape the brain's structure and function, influencing how we think, reason, and interact. People from different cultural backgrounds show unique brain activity in areas tied to emotion, attention, and decision-making. Multilingual individuals often have stronger memory, cognitive flexibility, and problem-solving skills due to the constant need to switch between languages. These adaptations show that experience doesn't just inform the brain, it rewires it. Cultural norms, symbols, and communication styles all leave lasting imprints on neural pathways. By learning new languages or engaging with diverse cultures, we expand our mental capacity and deepen understanding. The brain thrives on variety. Neuroplasticity is evolving from a scientific discovery into a powerful tool for enhancing the brain. Technologies like brain-computer interfaces, neurostimulation, and AI-driven learning systems are opening new ways to shape how we think, heal, and grow. These tools could speed up recovery after injury, tailor learning to individual needs, and support emotional health through real-time feedback. As we begin to work with our brains intentionally, new possibilities and new ethical questions emerge. Who benefits? How far should enhancement go? The future of neuroplasticity blends biology with technology, and the choices we make will shape not just minds, but humanity itself. How has your brain surprised you in everyday life through learning, healing, or change? Share your story or questions in the comments. We'd love to know how neuroplasticity has shown up for you. And if there's a topic you want us to explore next, let us know. Your idea could shape our next video. Disclaimer. As an Amazon and other affiliate, I earn from qualifying purchases at no additional cost to you. Do you like the video and want to make videos like this? Turn text into stunning videos in seconds. Get free trial and unlock your creative potential. You can create even better videos than mine. No editor is required. Check out the link in the video description below. Thank you for joining us on this journey through neuroplasticity. Please like and share the video, and please do not forget to subscribe for more videos.